Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Mike Ritsema. He's a technology entrepreneur, CEO of i3 Business Solutions, and we learn from him about his hard-earned lessons on entrepreneurship, business growth, and the crucial role of cybersecurity. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Great to be here on April Fool's Day, AJ. Let's go.
You're welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to India in this online form, Mike. And when we have somebody who has so much of experience, expertise, it does not become an April Fool's Day. Even though people call it an April Fool's Day, it becomes a special day, special episode. In time, this particular day will vanish, but this episode will continue to be, so guiding a lot of entrepreneurs in the years to come. With that in mind, let's first, we'll be talking a lot about, as I said, we'll talk about entrepreneurship, growth, and cybersecurity. And it is not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from this. But before that, let's learn a bit about your journey, Mike, so that people know who they are listening to.
You bet. Well, just a simple food sales guy who was invited to technology in 1990 by a guy that worked at a large company back then, a small company today, IBM Corporation, and started selling computers, IBM servers in the 90s, and had a good run through the 90s, got a little cocky and bought a business in 2001. And that's when the drama ensued. Hang on for dear life. Welcome to business, entrepreneurship, risk. It was a tough year in 2001, AJ.
Absolutely. From a food sales guy to somebody from into IBM. So that's a lot of food for thought. So why into entrepreneurship? Means what motivated you? Was it about the yearning to be your own boss, as nowadays a lot of people say, I want to be my own boss, or was it something else for you, Mike?
Yeah, I think part of my thing is the journey of life is to know thyself, is to understand who I am, understand who you are. That's the journey of life. And the closer we get to understanding ourselves, the better we can do. One thing I know about myself going way back is I love a challenge. I love competition. So that much I understand about myself. And I say, I don't care if it's ping pong with my father, whether it's golf today, whether it's running races, 5Ks, etc., or business. Life is a challenge to me. Somebody hand me risk and challenge. And when you go into business for yourself, you're saying, I want risk, I want a challenge, put me in the game, coach, and it's the real deal.
Absolutely. But business is business and challenge is challenge. You can have a challenge in a game, but business involves a lot of different dynamics, a lot of employees. Now if I understand, you have 45 employees. So you wouldn't want to look at it in a way you would look at it as a startup. So I want to understand from you, Mike, is that how should entrepreneurs look at business challenge? How should they look at risk? How should they look at, the future vis-a-vis their own gut feeling and all the data that they have with them? How should one look at that?
I think it's an opportunity to learn, and that's a constant, I think, of great people. Okay, I'll put myself in that category, but seriously, people want to learn. And for me, reading books for the last decades and decades and decades, learning. And when you sign up as an entrepreneur, you're signing up to say, there's a whole bunch of stuff I don't know. You can do all the planning in the world, and you're going to get slapped in the face. Muhammad Ali said that, right? You plan, the fight goes perfectly until you get punched in the face, and that's what's going to happen in business. You are going to get punched in the face, and you're not going to have a clue, and you're going to have to read, study, talk to others, learn. Life is a continuous journey of learning And that's what I embrace. And those challenges, right? I had no idea this was going to happen. I have to learn, I have to grow, I have to figure out how to find my way through this.
Right. So, Mike, how does an entrepreneur look forward in terms of vision? How did you look at when you entered into entrepreneurship? Did you have an idea of having millions and millions of dollars? Did you look at better quality of life? Did you look at vision of impacting people, purpose in life, creating value for others or value for yourself? How, went into your mind, and how do you see it has changed, or is it still the same? Entrepreneurship is still the same.
I was raised a poor Dutch boy on the southeast side of Grand Rapids. And I'm not apologizing for being an American, for rugged individualism, for saying, I want to work hard, make money. And so that's what drove me. And so then you talk about vision. I think, again, know thyself. I am a visionary. I'm the guy that says, I want to go there. I want to go to the mountaintop. And by the way, that challenge of going there to the mountaintop includes valleys. And I've been deep in the valley. And that is the challenge I embrace, is when you're down and out, are you going to figure a way to claw your way back? Many say, do not compare yourself to others. I'm sorry. I'm a competitive guy. I like the challenge. I will do that, and I will claw my way to the mountaintop. Many say, do not live your life on the mountaintop. I say, it's part of the journey of life for me, is the valleys and the peaks. It's a reality. They say life is lived in the mundane and the dramatic. That's life. I love it. So that vision, know thyself. I am a visionary. I'm a guy that says, let's go there. Some are more, let's just grind every day. I'm just going to do the same thing every day. That's okay. That's a little different than me. But I'm the guy that says, we'll figure out how to do it. Let's go there.
Absolutely. Let's go there. So, how did you visit uh, the situation, say a very low situation in your business, almost near bankruptcy in 2001? Was that? I want to understand your mindset from that.
Yeah, I'm a sales type. So again, know thyself. I understand I'm a sales type. And I'm going to go out there and find business. And I bought a company that had great technical people. And I did not know that it was the tech recession of 2001, the dot-com bust, when I bought the business. And the summer, I bought that business in January, and I'm like, I'm going to go out and sell. I went out, sold, and realized nobody's buying. And so I had a reverse selling. I started laying people off, cutting expenses, doing everything I could. By the summer of 2001, I was mentally and physically depressed. I did not know this. And because I was trying so hard and I couldn't sell anything. And so we slashed expenses, did everything we could. I was fully into I had remortgaged my house. I was fully into my home equity loan. I was fully into the line of credit at the business. I had not taken a paycheck for 3 months. We were heading to bankruptcy. My wife sent me to the doctor, and I went on medication, which she said sent me so high, I was almost out of control. I was in a running group, AJ, and at noon every day I met some guys and went running, and that gave me a little serotonin boost, right? And gave me a purpose. I had, I'd come into the office, and by 9 a.m. I was done selling. I had nothing to do. And at noon I went running with the guys. It was terrible. I was so low. And around the world, many of us, certainly in America, know what happened on September 11 of 2001. I mean, the Twin Towers were hit by a terrorist attack. And I was a half a mile from my mom's house, and I sat on the couch. I can still picture it, watching the TV going, the economy's collapsing. I'm going bankrupt. It's over. And that, I mean, those are the challenges of life. Nobody prepared me for that. And I think that's the growth opportunity that I wanted, right? That's our opportunity as entrepreneurs to face, as General Patton said, my favorite quote in the whole world, accept the challenges to feel the exhilaration of victory. And in October of 2001, two orders came in from some big companies, and that started turning the company around, and we found our way out of it.
Absolutely. And how was your outlook when you were at a very high point in your entrepreneurial journey, Mike?
I think, again, we're all built differently, and I'm just built for that. I'm built for the peaks and the valleys. So the valley, I look back at my life, and again, I'm not saying everybody has to be like this, but I believe, for me, the journey of life is the ups and downs. One of my beliefs in life, and it's both philosophical and comes from the theology that I believe, is there will be drama. I mean, if you can go through life and understand, I think idealistically, decades ago, I pictured this ideal life. Everything's just wonderful all the time. No, there will be drama. And as we learn to deal with drama, I think that's the journey of life. So I embrace that valley. I embrace it, and it's part of what energizes me. Is somebody come and punch me in the face, please punch me in the face, because I will come back.
Absolutely. So I want to understand, what does your company do? I3 Business Solutions. It's a conglomeration of several buyouts, and then together you have built this company. That's why I want to understand for the audience.
Yeah, and I think in the entrepreneurial journey in the 90s, we sold, the way you sold very expensive IBM hardware was you understand the business needs. They bought software. It ran on very expensive IBM hardware, and then we delivered consulting and programming. And in 2007, the Great Recession started, right? Worldwide. We had 18% unemployment in the state of Michigan. Two automotive companies went bankrupt and were bailed out by the federal government. We, after going through the valley in 2001 of the tech recession, 6 years later, uh, America's flat on its back, and we're clawing, and we rebuilt the business. Some call it a pivot, but we looked at this small networking division we had, PCs, networks, and Windows servers, and said, we're going to crank that dial up. And we started selling, AJ, what's called recurring revenue, managed services. And today we support over 100 small businesses for cybersecurity, keep my network running, keep me safe, help me use new technologies. So that's the business we're in today.
Absolutely. And talking of cybersecurity, talking of small businesses, uh, do you think we can be safe in today's time, or it is just an illusion? Because even big companies, you see, every now and then that thing comes out that we have been, our data is leaked and we cannot do anything about it. Change your password. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. Change your password. No, we must be paranoid. You are correct. There is no guarantee. We say it's not a matter of if you'll be hacked, it's a matter of when you'll have a problem. So please, in this part of life, be paranoid. Be paranoid. And we have helped 3 companies from 150 employees to 500 employees recover in the last 5 years from total ransomware, encrypting all their PCs and their servers. It's a terrible task. It's terrible for business. So be paranoid, be vigilant.
Absolutely. And what about your business? You see, artificial intelligence. What I see is, at every stage of your business life, entrepreneur journey, Mike, there have been, many valleys. Peaks have been there, but valleys have been quite many. 2001, 2007, 8, 2001 twice. And then, even now you see what you are doing is AI is taking over the world. And a company like yours, I'm sure it is providing value. But how do you look at the future? Is there a future for services like yours? Even if you think yes, how do you make sure that you are still relevant tomorrow? Anytime midnight, any company can come up and it can eat up all the businesses that are in your line of business. Just like DeepSeek came out one fine morning, one fine night, one
Yep.
fine afternoon for whoever is in their part of the world. How do you look at the future in terms of business? How should an employer, an entrepreneur look at business in these changing times of artificial intelligence?
Yeah, I think, my mantra in business, STP, see the people. People do business with people. I don't know of a business in the world that doesn't need humans. In America, in capitalism, I embrace and accept disruptive innovation. New ideas are coming out. It's going to disrupt the economy. People are paranoid. Oh no, all the jobs are going away. Computers are taking it. No, that's not true. We always need people to coordinate, to do the work, especially in service industries. So yeah, in technology, my business, 10 years ago, it was the cloud. Oh, everything's going to the cloud, and then we're out of business. No, that didn't happen. 5 years ago, it was cybersecurity. So we dove into cybersecurity. It's our value proposition today. It is cybersecurity. I would say to any entrepreneur out there, two things. Number one, back up your stuff. Please make sure you have a secure offline, air-gapped backup of your stuff. And if you're using a cloud service, be paranoid. They could get hacked too. So back up your important stuff. Secondly, two-factor authentication. AJ, you say change your password, have a different password for every single login, and use two-factor authentication anywhere you can. And then yes, hang on, we're going out of business. AI is going to do everything. It will take a decade for AI to seriously impact any of our businesses. So we move with that. We change with that. It's part of the journey of running a business, right?
Absolutely. After doing so many things for several decades now, Mike, what is it that motivates you? Money, and more money. Is that it, or something beyond that?
No, it's interesting. I am a baby boomer, and more money is not the answer. But the answer, again, know thyself. I know myself, and for others, it will be different. But for me, it's the challenge. So yeah, I reached a point and kind of the epiphany in the last 1 to 2 years for me as a baby boomer who could retire. It was no. In fact, I was in a position to retire, and my friends and family are retiring. And I said, no. And I had about half a year to a year where I'm like, this is nice. I can just live life this way. And I said, no, I need a challenge. I need more drama. And so we bought that next business about a year ago and borrowed money and said, we need a challenge. Because I need more money? No, because I need a challenge. It gets me up in the morning. It's just who I am.
Absolutely. And talking of, baby boomers, US especially, this whole lot of wealth transfer undergoing, and from the baby boomer generation to the new generation. And the new generation doesn't want those businesses. Where do you see this all heading? All these businesses, are they going to be to close, be bought by at very low prices, or they will die their natural death because there were no takers? There will be no takers, or there will be a change of heart from the new generation. How do you see this part, Mike?
Yeah, in America, there's a lot of private equity, private money buying businesses like mine, rolling them up, right? I don't care if it's the trash service the garage door company, the technology company. They buy a bunch of them, put them together, and flip them up, make them more efficient. So that's one thing that's happening. Secondly, a lot of them are being sold. So a lot of businesses are being sold. I'm not a generational expert, but I do understand that different generations work at different, let's say, efficiencies or productivity. So yeah, it's interesting in America, and a lot of generational wealth is going to be passed down. I think that's good for the world. It's good for America, right? It's going to feed the economy of both America and the world. Um, and I would submit that opportunity abounds, just abounds, and I'm optimistic about it.
Absolutely. And are you optimistic about the future, the way the new administration is looking at tariffs, make in America, manufactured in America, and the way other countries are now looking at other countries for their businesses? Where do you see the whole business scene for entrepreneurs in the going years?
I think it's very interesting that President Trump and the administration could have just kept things the same, and the stock market in America rocketed, and they could have kept that train on the track, but they disrupted it. And I believe what they're doing is saying, um, and actually, article in the Wall Street Journal. I mean, a lot of investors shocked by what's going on, and I believe the Trump administration is saying, yeah, we can make the rich richer, we can drive the stock market up, or we can change America fundamentally and make government smaller, create jobs for the lower and middle class, lift their incomes. We can do that, and the rich are going to get hurt. That's what's happening right now in America from my perspective. I think it's good stuff. Uh, I think it's a risky plan. It's disrupting US and maybe world economics, but the long game is noble, I believe.
Absolutely. So, entrepreneurs, how do they prepare for such change? Say, a lot of entrepreneurs are dependent, they supply to the US. A lot of US people, they supply to outside Canada, Mexico, many other countries. Nobody knows which administration will come, what sort of administration. As an entrepreneur, what is your advice to a fresh entrepreneur about such things? Because the world is very, very dynamic, and it's going to be much more dynamic in the coming days.
Yeah, I understand that it is a challenge for the world that a new president every 4 years can change the American view of the world and integration of the world. And what the current administration is doing is disruptive. For entrepreneurs around the world, you know, hey, all business is local. I can look at US or world economics, but I'm running a business right here in West Michigan, in the state of Michigan. So for somebody that's building their business on exports, okay, I think that's a pretty narrow band, AJ. So definitely that business is disruptive. But I would submit for 95% of the entrepreneurs out there, we're building a business locally. We're dealing with local politics, local economics. Let's not get lost in this US and world politics. My goodness, I'm running a business right here. Let's focus on that.
Absolutely. Let's focus on the business itself. There's so much to learn about life, about business, entrepreneurship, and I'm sure a lot of people would want to connect with you, Mike. What's the best way for them to do so?
Oh, I'm out there. I'm on LinkedIn, Michael Ritsema. I3 Business Solutions, i3bus.com, the letter I, the number 3, bus.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm out there. You can find me.
Absolutely. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
You bet, AJ. Thank you.